you looking for in this? Like, what is it when you listen to this? What is it?
I like a lot of places. There's a lot of contrast and double meanings to a lot of things, and this is what I like in the song.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
it's surprising. Again, textures, right?
Yeah.
There's like textures in it with the maybe with the Gypsy Kings because they're predictable in their texturing.
Oh my God,
Sorry.
you killed him now.
Oh my God.
We love Gypsy
No,
Kings.
but that, I mean, that, no, seriously.
Okay, we need to
But
see the movie.
you need to see the movie and that particular scene, it's just amazing.
You have to bring
It's just
it up.
amazing.
I know.
Hello, and welcome to Forward Moves, hosted by Lina, Nahhas, and Haddad. A conversation with our guests about the path of their successful journeys, where they started and what kept them moving forward in an ever-changing environment, and what enabled them to create impact in a space and with themselves that are both in perpetual movements. Hello, Nadine Kanso, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming, Nadine.
We are thrilled to have you with us and talk about all the beautiful things that you have achieved, and most importantly, what keeps you moving forward and on this wonderful path you have charted for yourself and the world around you.
What keeps me moving is actually I'm being alive, like I'm alive. So it's something that, for me, you should never stay in one place. And evolving is a day-to-day thing and just like moving forward. And I guess coming on top of it from a country that I lived the war in and all of that, that also gave me kind of, if I look at my kids and I talk to my kids' friends and they always go back and tell our generation, you guys are built differently. You keep on moving forward as if nothing happened.
Something touches me when you said being alive. It almost feels to me like it's such a privilege to be alive. Coming from that background you've just described, it feels like, wow, like that really hit me when you spoke that.
Yeah, because we tend sometimes to forget that we are alive. We tend to forget that we're gonna die, and it's something very that's gonna happen.
Right.
It's the only certainty in life, actually.
Oh, yeah. So for our listeners and viewers, Nadine Kanso is an accomplished Lebanese jewelry designer whose creations, and they are beautiful creations, covered the span of 18 plus years, accessorizing people all over the world. Above all, the jewelry Nadine creates are a celebration of the Arabic language, a heritage Nadine is very proud of, and the confirmation that identity is something to preserve and be proud of. Nadine started her creative journey with photography and had an eye for capturing specific moments in time, immortalizing them through a collage representing what became her own signature. Moved to jewelry design, creating collections that they became by themselves eternal in time. She took part in several exhibitions in the region and Europe and is acclaimed as a fashion icon, an artist, and a businesswoman we are all inspired with.
Thank you so much.
So, my dear Nadine, as with every journey, where did it all start? Where did it all start? Was it when you picked up your camera at Debussy and started taking pictures of Beirut streets? Was it the time spent in Montreal and Prague, where that sense of identity and belonging became ever so important?
No, I mean Beirut definitely is Beirut. I spent half of my life there. My childhood, my family, my friends. It's the roots. It's who eventually made me who I am today, and we go back to thriving and moving forward. I would say Beirut. This is where it all started. Carrying the camera, going around Beirut, and then whether I moved to Montreal, Prague, or Dubai, there were times where I did not feel as creative or inspired, and this is where when everything hit the fan. And coming from a household that is very much of an Arab nationalist household, identity was very important, and looking around and seeing what's happening in the world and all of that's the kind of thing that my voice is towards, that kind of I wouldn't say a mission, but towards a purpose, identity, heritage. It was never about creating a business. It's about a statement, expressing myself. So whether it's photography or jewelry, where everything translated to jewelry from photography, makes me who I am, makes me want to say what I want to say. Always very important for people to know where they come from, who they are, what's their purpose in life, and what they can, give to their entourage or society or whatever it is, a part of shedding the light on something that's that important.
It's such a beautiful flavor, because when I'm like, when you speak of that, not everybody has that, actually. Not everybody has that beginning in Lebanon, as you said, and wanting to make a statement about the heritage. What for you, why did you choose that? Because not everybody does that, making that statement and having a look at Beirut and having your origins clearly visible and stated.
I mean, living in the world that we're living in today, and if I look around, and like 9/11 was a big kind of a wake-up call. And this is where a lot of, and I've said that before, nothing new that I'm saying today, is I had friends or people that I knew that were very afraid of calling or naming their kids Arabic names. And that for me was a trigger. I was like, no, we can't go that route. No.
Why was it a trigger?
Because I come from a home where my family was like, we are Arabs. Doesn't matter which religion you come from. And it's something that I want to keep on expressing. And obviously the world today is expressing.
I want to take it back to why I probed about living and being alive. It's almost like what you're saying is, I'm here.
Yeah, I am here, and people need to see who we are and what we stand for, and we're not all terrorists at the end of the day, and our art and expression and statements need to show the world, and as artists more so, because we might get to people easier or closer. People might understand this artistic thing and look into what we're trying to say and understand where we come from and who we are and what is this region is all about and the history we have. And it's like incredible. And there's not enough, if I say, or a lot of people say, there's not enough of all of that. We need more.
Beautiful.
What I find fascinating is that marking event of 9/11, which many Arabs around the world lived. Marked the world, but also in terms of Arabs' identity abroad was and could have been a defining moment. And
100%.
You didn't look at it as an obstacle. You didn't look at it as a block. You looked at it as a motivation to take on board and express your belonging, for lack of a better term, in a creative way, and use your talent, use your art, use your trade, craftsmanship, if I put labels on all of that, in a way that allows you to move forward. Instead, because I know, and I might have been one of them at certain moments where it kind of stopped me. And I know a lot of people that said, you know what, we don't want to be part of that conversation. You kind of build protective walls around you, and you looked at it as, well, it could have been an obstacle, or let me overcome that, and how can I tell a different story? How can I build a different narrative?
Yeah. And I hope more people do the same. I mean, these voices are important because, the radius is, you can say so much and your radius is like, and then somebody else comes in and has a wider radius. Yeah. And this is what we have to do.
It feels like it started in Lebanon, where you're still also saying, I'm an Arab in Lebanon. And then 9/11 perhaps happened, I'm an Arab in the world. What I'm also loving is that you are the eyes through the camera. You started with that. You're our eyes to showcase the beauty of Beirut and beyond that, but also the adorning factors that come with jewelry. That's quite special as well. Like that's why I'm saying we stand out. I'm here with our jewelry, with our clothing, with our fashion, with our statements, and it feels like you're making that statement for us as well.
Thank you. I hope I am. Yeah, I mean, each one of us has his own stamp or you know. And I think we need to encourage each other more and more, for everyone to have a voice, to have, you know, a presence, no matter how small or big it is, as long as we are active and moving forward. Again, this is for me, it's the way to go.
Having a voice, is that what is recognizing your voice and all of that? Is that what got you going each time?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I've never had like big dreams or whatever, but I had like a couple of things that I wanted to make sure I've done before leaving this this planet. And one is to do an exhibition in photography, which I never thought it will happen, and it did. And from there, obviously, it led to other things. And I said I want to leave the world with at least an impact, no matter what it was. That I'm not just a number that passed through this life.
Beautiful.
And I think I'm blessed. Maybe I never thought like, I want to do millions, or I want to do this, I want to start a business. No, that was never the case for me. It was like, just like, at least leave with a mark. Whatever, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, as long as I do that. And I think so far I've done these two things, and I'm like, okay.
You
I'm
have
chill.
indeed. You have.
It's like, we're cool here.
You have.
But I mean, I think, you know, creating impact is very important, and what you're aiming at, even if it wasn't like an objective by itself of making business out of that, you are creating an impact.
No,
you're
but
inspiring others.
100%. I created a trend.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me this question like 15 years back, I would maybe shy away saying, no, I'm doing this for identity, all of that.
Yeah.
But I would not have said, actually, I was one of the first people who created that kind of an Arabic trend in everything. I did T-shirt at the time.
Yeah.
I did jewelry. I did some of the photography with the words and calligraphy in Arabic.
Yeah.
So no one at that time, obviously you have the classic calligraphy and all of that has been done, obviously. But that bringing this twist or bling or modern contemporary, I would say.
Exactly, because that calligraphy was, you know, timeless, you know, and we have so many different, styles and art form of the Arabic calligraphy. But you
keeping it cool
through your exactly, you made it more accessible, if I may say so.
Exactly,
and more visible.
And more visible. Did you have at some point? I think maybe it was at the Victoria and Albert Museum where you combined both.
No, it was a photography only.
It was just a photography.
Yeah,
so
yeah. That was the start of everything, actually.
Yeah. But which exhibition was where you had people from the region carrying?
Yeah, this is the same. So it was shown. It's called Min Ana.
Yes.
Min Ana means who I am, and obviously it started for that exhibition. My first exhibition ever in photography was a question mark, and then it became more of an affirmation, and it's like, it's not a question, it's who I am. And I took a lot of pictures at the time of a lot of friends and people even that are from different nationalities, Arab nationalities, and everyone was holding a card that I did the calligraphy at the time, and a small collage, which is very much of what I do. And it says, حبي عربي, مستقبلي عربي, احكيني بالعربي. شكلي عربي.
We belong.
The diversity also that is in that, where you're showcasing the diversity and, like you were saying, the fusion between what's typically Arab but also what's not, and that fusion, and it's all come out.
What I'm hearing is that you looked at obstacles as fuel or motivators moving forward. So what are the hacks that you have used? And is it that strong identity sense? What are the other life hacks? It's like we don't like to talk about challenges and obstacles a lot because we like to celebrate success more than difficulties. You know, that's our human nature.
Course.
But there are certain hacks that you deploy. Certainly.
I mean, getting into all of this was a learning journey because a lot of it. I was not a professional photographer. I had taken few classes in photography. I'm not a professional calligraphy artist. I'm not a jeweler. I'm a designer, So combining all of that and trying to find that balance was always, I wouldn't say a challenge. It came to me naturally, maybe because I'm a creative and I could see like what I like, and maybe because I also stayed true to who I am and what I want to do, and this is what I would assume kept me on track. Obviously learning a lot of things about jewelry, making, production, pricing. These were for me the more difficult or you know, things that I had to overcome and learn on a daily basis, because these are things that I don't like. So when it came to the creative and the more you know, fun part was never an issue. I'm the kind of person that I was like, okay, you tell me the glass is half full, half empty, I'll tell you it's half full.
But you know, I it's so consistent for me, and it's so beautifully consistent that you're, even along the way, you're doing the things. Like, one of the obstacles is learning something that you haven't learned. But even from there, you're discovering the Min Ana of Nadine Kanso. Like, even there, it feels so. When you're even talking about these challenges, were you discovering more of yourself, and what did you discover along the way?
No, definitely. I'm discovering how I discovered who I am. I discovered what I can do, how far I can push myself, how far I can take like that kind of a load of whether work or running around. Because when I started, I was on my own, and obviously with time I had another person, then another person. So for a long time I've built a business. And not being, I would say, greedy. Now, I'm over 50, I can say things the way they are.
We can all say
understand.
that. I'm happy.
We hear you.
So it was never about the money or anything. So I think that is a big thing, which is quite enjoyable, because you can keep on doing whatever you want, and there's no one to tell you what to do or what not to do, and how you see fit actually, and how you enjoy that journey without like no, I need to do that. It's just that kind of a balance.
What did you discover about yourself that surprised you along the way?
I've been always told that I'm anide.
I never said that. I never said that.
What do you say?
But you know, there's a
stubborn.
There's a smile that's going on with that. It's almost like you discovered it and now you own it, and you're proud of it.
Exactly.
You're enjoying it.
I do enjoy it, and some people say it's like, but you change your mind. It's like, I'm a creative. Yeah, I do change my mind. It's like, get a life and just like move on.
Maybe Anidi had a question mark, but then it was an affirmation, just
That's
like your
true.
first
It's
Min
okay.
Ana.
I mean, what I discovered is I can take on a lot, and I can still move forward with it and try to juggle. I never thought I could like be able to do 2, 3, 4, 5 things at the same time. So like, I did photography at the same time I was doing jewelry for a good chunk of my career. I've stopped a while back. Obviously, the gallery I was working with closed down, but it's something I would like to go back to and do. And these things are always nourishing, and it's like it's a beautiful thing that you can do anytime, the minute you have actually time to do it. So I mean balancing. I've never thought I could balance and work under pressure, but I work very well under pressure, which is great.
So it's one of the things that is Hanide in Arabic resilience. Does it feed?
No, it's stubborn.
It's stubborn.
But does it feed into in your sense of resilience?
I know that this word has been used over and over again, especially for the Lebanese.
Yes.
We are. I guess we own this this word.
You're right. Resilience, and I agree with you. It's a term that's been overused, right? And somehow, even sometimes used as an excuse or justification.
Which is we should not go into that.
And this is where Hanidi and stubborn and resilience, like it's persistent, it's clear, it's determined.
Azim is a word that I love.
Yes.
And it's a word that I use a lot in my jewelry, which is the willpower.
Correct.
And I'd rather know that I have that. That keeps me going.
That's why I picked up on it, because this idea of stubborn is that it needs muscle to
Yeah,
be
and you
stubborn.
need
It
to
takes an effort. It takes a
stick to what-
azim. It takes a willpower and determination, and it takes this almost shape of, I'm here
I'm
and I'm
staying.
going and I'm staying. It goes
Yeah.
back to, even to that to an
Yeah.
And
extent.
here's who I am.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to pick
Great.
up on something you said earlier. It's like when I started alone. And it's the story of every starter, right? What was the journey since then? Was it a lot of alone moments, or was it a lot of people with you
No, it's
providing you a network of support or even challenge at times? So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is the role of others in your journey.
we're always alone. We're born alone. We're dying alone. Sorry, I'm not being morbid, but it's definitely we make decisions mostly alone. We work creatives work mostly alone, at least with the creative process, all of that. Definitely having the first chunk of my work, or my building the brand, or doing what I achieved until now, was relatively alone. Obviously, you have the support of the family, of Aziz, my husband, of the friends who believed in what I did. Like yourself, you remember a long time back with the exhibition at that time. So the photography.
Yes.
So people realizing or knowing, the asset you have, or the creativity you have, or the taste you have, or whatever it is, these people obviously come into play. Whether it's a small part, a big part, we are alone, but we're also very connected. We're also supporting each other in a way or another. And this is what makes life beautiful, is this connection, this connection that we have, that we can call someone and ask them for something, advice, knowledge, anything it is. As long as you're open in that sense, nothing is hard to achieve. Nothing is hard to get to.
Right.
I mean, I feel this way, so I never shut anyone out. I try not to, unless they want to copy my work. But
I'm avoiding that
Is
topic.
yeah, please do.
I'm avoiding
Let's
that.
keep it
Because
on a
the
good
imposter
note.
syndrome, and especially in the world of design, the copycats, and what is true creative, what is
Who copies will always copy, will never be creative.
Is that one of the challenges that you were meeting along the way? How did you overcome
not
that?
along the way, actually. It's in the recent years.
Oh, okay, yes.
Because at the beginning, nobody's really interested. And when you become who you are, like, when you have a, like,
certain exposure or
echo,
status,
and this is where people have eyes on you, and when they look at what you're seeing, what you're doing, and what you're achieving, they want to be part of that, and thinking of, if you take that thing, that they will have the same. But it's unfortunately, it doesn't work this way, because you have to create from within. You have to create something that is your DNA and your core, for you to keep on going. Because if you copy Nadine today bil Arabi or whatever, you're going to copy Lina the next day, you're going to copy X and it's never going to be
your identity.
Or it's like
essence.
there's not going to be strength there.
Totally.
I want to pick up on something you said earlier about listening to your friends, or always coming, especially as an artist, you create from within and you create alone, and then there's others around you. And what I was hearing in a way was that, at least in my case, I don't know about you guys, they remind me of who I am in moments of doubt. Like those who are
they're
close
not
to me.
a lot.
They're not a lot. A handful of them.
In a way, what I'm hearing is that this network of close friends or close people keep you true.
Yeah.
And help you not only maintain your identity, but evolve it and be kind of.
And they
part of
challenge
it.
you.
And they
sometimes.
challenge you, and that's what the notion of your friends, or even not necessarily friends, but your circle. Is it a network of support, of cheerleaders, or is it a network of challenge?
You have a little bit of everything, like in life,
Yeah. And it's good to have that mix.
Yeah,
or
There's sometimes a good challenge,
exactly.
and sometimes there's a bad challenge.
Oh, yeah.
A challenge that holds you back, and then there's a
100%.
challenge that grows you and expands you.
100%.
Speaking of that, we we took the liberty of reaching out to some of the people who are close to you.
It's going to be
have a drink. Have a drink.
They've been very generous to contribute with questions that they're hoping that you can answer.
Let's see.
So I'll start with the first one.
Yes, sorry.
Nadine, you've been an artist, a photographer, a jeweler, and someone in communications. And today you're a jeweler. If you were to start over, what would you do?
Do you recognize?
That's Nada.
That's Nada Dibis.
What would I do? I mean, I think I'm very happy with the journey I've had, and I think I wouldn't change anything. If I would probably, if I would do this again, I would ask for maybe more help, more financing, like learning the business side of things at an earlier, you know, and not trying to keep that for a long time. Probably is one of the things I've done is like keep that's like, you know what, I'm happy here. I don't want to, which is a good thing. But maybe
it allowed the creative flow to
100%
to start and establish itself, right?
But maybe if I wanted that voice to be a wider, maybe keep on the photography. Maybe I should
keep on the photography.
I should do that again.
I have another question. Let's see if I'm sure you will recognize who this is from.
Nadine Kanso, عمدة الindustry. So when I first met you and I had the first picture with you, everybody was like, so Mariam صاحبة عمدة الindustry. So this is your reputation. And when I get to know you more, you have a PR skill like no other. You're so good with people and you're very consistent with it. As an artist, which totally contradicts with meeting with a lot of people, spending a lot of energy out. When you want the time for yourself as an artist, how do you shut down? How do you manage to create the balance of being that much of an extrovert and when you need the time for yourself? How do you create this balance?
I like that.
Good question.
Yeah, that's a question that we're always, even ourselves, we keep on asking ourselves as creators, like, okay, what should I need some time alone. I just like 2 days back, I just went to the beach and I stayed all day by myself. Although I said I'm going to be there for 2 hours, but it happened that I was there for like 8 hours, 7 hours, or literally from 10 till 5. I love people. That's maybe part of my character, and it's not about PR. It happens that I'm a people's person. Yeah. I've lived in a household. Doors were open, people were coming in, helping people, trying to be there for, like, whether it's my mom, my dad. You know, we lived this way. So for me, it's part of who I became, who I am. Nature, It's a second nature. So I love to receive people. I love to go out, meet people, get to know people. I don't necessarily like small talk, but this is why more and more I'm more inclined to have like smaller dinners where really like yesterday we were at our place and we were 10, 11 people. So at least you'll be able to talk to each other and get to know each other and share things, and not just like, hi, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Let's catch up. You know,
I hear you.
More and more I'm getting into that. But the balance is always challenging, is always like just like trying to find that time to run away for a bit and you know, or just sit in bed and have your coffee and read a book.
It felt like you lost yourself for a little while on that beach.
I did.
You lost time.
I had my cigar. I had my water. I was in the pool, in and out.
Is that like one of the secrets then? Losing yourself to yourself and to time for just a tiny bit.
You have to. Just a bit. Just like be in your thoughts.
Yes.
It's sad to say, but COVID was a good time for a lot of people, unfortunately, to have time to think. The luxury of thinking is like, it's that hour before going to bed. Or if you wake up early enough, then you have that half an hour before opening your phone and looking at, you know, at your emails or answering messages from last night. That you know.
I do have another question as well that
From a friend.
I'll play it for you. It's
Okay.
it's in Arabic, but we'll translate it. So
نادين يا نادين حبيبتي أنت من أكثر الناس اللي بحبهم بالعالم عن جد ومن أكثر الناس اللي بحس بالأمان والطمأنينة بس أكون معاكي. في عندي سؤال وعن جد نفسي أعرف جوابه. كيف بعد كل هذا المشوار اللي أنت فيه ولحد هلا الحمد لله إن شاء الله you will always be like this إنه لحد هلا you still can give and you still can create. نفسي أعرف إيش الموتيفيشن أو إيش الإشي اللي بيخليكي دائما هيك تتحركي وتسوي أشياء وإيش يعني المحرك تبعك.
So that's Basil Karouhat. He's also a great friend and dear friend. And we became closer even, I knew him like actually from Kuwait long time back.
wow,
maybe,
that bad.
maybe 15 years ago.
Oh.
But he was living in Kuwait. He moved here and he's one of the coolest DJs in town and globally. He's playing globally now. So what keeps me going, I don't know what keeps me going. I know love for people and just like love, I think keeps me going. Love for the other, love for what I do, love for the family, for my cat, you know.
Which one?
Both of them, Kifah and Shifu, Master Shifu.
I love these names.
I love cats.
Kifah is a character.
Yeah,
love
Kifah
it.
is outdoors.
Love the
Obviously, this
name.
is why she's always like, I'm بتكافح. And Shifu obviously is the bourgeois. That's it in the house.
That's the couch cat.
He's the diva.
He is. So I think love is, I mean, even if I look at my brand and the words I've used from the beginning till now, it was always based on love. Love for me goes beyond what it is. It's connection. It's doing good. It's obviously finding peace. I think love is a big like anchor to peace. I think if we find love, we can find peace. And it's like from like 18 years when I started the brand, this is what was like, even when I said حبي عربي, بحبك بالعربي. So all these words for me bring people together, bring us to actually be in peace, whether it's with ourselves or with other people, with other, nations and all of that. For me, it's what keeps me going. It's for me what we're here on earth to do that, and I find it sad that some people are mean, or some people are not giving, or
what is needed in the moment.
No,
It just feels to
100%.
me like you're sourcing from that. It's your source. It's your
Yeah, I
breath.
mean,
It's almost
and-
like what
and some-
keeps you
yeah,
alive.
sure.
The more what you're saying, because he's asked what keeps you going, and you're saying giving, and it's almost like the more you give of love, the more you receive. The more you give, the more you
Alhamdulillah.
receive,
Alhamdulillah.
the more you move forward.
And as long as you stay grounded, is a big thing. This is where you don't lose your compass.
What
And this
keeps
is-
you grounded?
Um,
What do you source to keep you grounded?
I don't know. I mean, I can't really think of what keeps me grounded. I know if somebody can tell me. I'm happy.
Were you
to-
ever
to-
ungrounded?
No, I was never.
Okay.
Never.
Solid.
And if you can listen to the three questions, and there is a common thread there, and it's like you've always been here, and you've always
Yes.
been
Present and
present, and like a lot of people get to a certain fame, and maybe they got to even more fame because of a
Yes.
certain attitude, which probably I don't have, this kind of a diva, or like I don't want to say bad words, but yeah, I think loving people and people loving you back is a good thing. We
Nadine,
don't.
you have such depth to you.
Thank you.
You know, and it takes a deep well of love to not like chit chat, to just want to go deep into a conversation. It takes such a deep well of love to be giving in order to resource yourself. And it really is touching me how all of
Thank
that,
you.
it's the variety. And even at the very, very beginning, when Raja was talking about your background, he said fashion, and you had that. The word fashion, you went like this.
I said
And
fashion icon. I said
fashion icon. And
I
it-
love the icon.
you like the
Yes,
icon.
exactly.
And it felt like because you really want to remain grounding needs
Yeah.
depth, and
Yeah.
you want to remain in that. Am I getting that right? Is that something?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to be at par with yourself anyway, and not lose your way and think you've become something like a super or all of that doesn't matter. To be honest, what matters is this connection with Raja, this connection with you, this connection with Mariam, this love and connection with Basil and with Nada, and these are like, this is truth. This is what's keeps me actually going and loving people and them loving me back. It's and it's not asking for that.
No,
there's a fine line. A lot of people do a lot of things because
they
want to,
yes,
and they want to be loved for the wrong reason.
Yes.
It's genuine.
Yeah,
and it has to be genuine both ways.
and you love being Arab.
I do love being Arab, and I'm very proud of that. And this is my identity. And
you
everyone,
love being who you are.
Yeah.
That happens to be.
That's
being
right.
Arab.
what I would change is as much as, like, if I look at things on a business perspective, maybe I shouldn't have called my brand Bil Arabi.
Interesting.
That's a business perspective. But again, I would not have named it Nadine Kanso. Okay, I've put myself in a place, and obviously by putting myself in this, I wouldn't say box, because 18 years down the road, obviously it's not a box. I've been creative, and I kept on being creative, and I will always be creative. But it's if you don't name your brand a certain, like, ethnic or like very specific name, you could do much more. And this is where I am today. I'm at a crossroad where what am I doing with my business? Obviously, the business is evolving. We're reaching larger markets. But how am I going globally? How am I? People would buy you globally on a personal level. But then retailers are always like, do I want Arabic words and names in my store in New York and I don't know, Bergdorf, or that's the challenge. Probably I would have named it differently, but obviously at the time it was never about business, and it was about statement, and it was about identity, and it's about something that I want to keep. On a business side, I would have done that, but on a personal side, today even more so, I would keep it Bil Arabi and in your face.
I like that. That's the stubbornness coming right here with that movement.
That's al-azima.
And what would you call it? So moving forward, let's say, what's coming up for you? Does that mean that we can look forward to a new brand name from you, or are you going to?
I don't think a new brand name, but definitely if you can look at the last 2 collections I've created, they were more on the generic side. You can see, no, I'm not wearing this today. The Hobby collection is more abstract.
Yeah,
you can see there's Arabic, but you cannot figure it out.
They're stunning, by the way.
And then obviously the Najla collection, it's still Najla collection, and it's eyes, and it's very, like, a big part of the Bil Arabi brand, which is the evil eyes and all of that. That has nothing Arabic written on it. The third collection, with everything that's happening, maybe it's going to be again
more in your face.
But it's interesting. It's a fabulous. I'm putting my, not my carpet hat, but my business hat on. It's a fabulous conundrum to have. Like, where after such a very strong and successful legacy that has been established, where do I take it next? And from a branding perspective, from a positioning perspective, not so much from the creative
creative is always solid.
How can I expand? How can I touch more people? How can I create a bigger impact? And it's a fabuless course to teach at university.
You wanna be my partner?
I'm enjoying my days at the beach at the moment, so longer than yours, if I may say. But it's which is great, Lina. It's the question that So, how do we move forward from here? What are your next projects? The Najla collection, as you said, which was much recent, and you know how the word Najla means a lot to me.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? Why don't we ask Nadine?
Okay, so first it's my grandma's name
and mine.
Oh, Oh,
and his.
how
It
beautiful.
happens, but it also means a big eye, the wide eye. And the girl who usually has that name is like a tall, that stands tall and with big eyes.
Beautiful.
I would love to go back to photography, and it's something I've been like trying to find time. And now that if I put everything on track at work, then maybe I can have that luxury of going back to something, express my feelings and my, whatever I want to express in a different way that is not only a product, but also something that I can look at day in, day out and appreciate, and people appreciate. So I'm not a planner, I'm a dreamer.
You're a creative, and thank God for that. Yeah. The evolution seems to be just perfectly what we all needed, really. It's so beautiful.
There's always this one last thing.
Yeah. What would you, like, our curiosity is, what would you have told 15-year-old Nadine and given her as an advice now, retrospecting at your age and all this experience? What would you have given her as which is an advice to others as well at that age?
I know a lot of people say I'm bold, but I would have liked to be bolder at earlier stages. I started my career late, like I was 39 or no, 30 something. So like keep on. I've always been as well proactive, but don't be shy. Like really stand tall and stand and just like, I was always the kind of thing, whatever is going to come my way is going to come my way. Maktub, as we say in
destined.
Destined.
It's written.
It's written, exactly. So what?
Exactly.
Calligraphy.
So maybe try to be more like, when I say bold, is like really like go for things like in a sharper way, which I'm not that. Maybe I can't. I'm very happy with where I am. I'm very happy with the journey. I'm blessed to have that, even with all the challenges. So I cannot say like, Ya Allah, and no, I لازم, لا. I try as much as I can not to dwell on the past and say like, ya ريت ya ريت ya ريت. I wish. No, this is something I learned from Aziz, my husband. Long time back when we started dating, is never look and say like, I wish I did. خلاص, never. Don't regret. Just like.
Beautiful.
Great.
I love movements. I'm always watching movements and body parts.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
Moving forward. Yalla.
Well, Nadine, this was certainly very, very inspiring. And thank you for the authenticity. Thank you for the genuine sharing. Thank you for the love.
Yes.
That
you have given yourself, but you have given us, and hopefully our audience and viewers. I can, I'm bad at summarizing things because so much came our way, but, I can pick up few words that kept you moving forward. It's staying true to one's identity, 100%. The importance of identity and belonging to that, the family surrounding, but also the broader people network that you can have with you. A journey of learning and self-discovery. It's like every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and know more about ourselves first before everything else. So did I summarize that correctly?
Time alone. Space. Taking space.
I wish I'd take that more often.
So maybe that's something moving forward. Taking space, taking time.
Taking time, for oneself.
I should do that more often.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We can't, wait to hear about your next project.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Nadine.
And we really wish you the best of success and
from
joy. And joy from the heart.
From the whole heart, right here and beyond.
In achieving, everything that you want to achieve as you move forward on this amazing journey. Well, this has been amazing. Yeah. This has been Forward Moves, hosted by Lina, Nahhas and Raja Haddad, a conversation about the successful journey of Nadine Kanso. Our producer is Daksh, and Sai. We've been recording at the Podster Studios. And if you liked our episode and it made you think and inspire you, please leave us a comment and a 5 stars rating and tell your friends about it. Until then, keep moving forward.